Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Chanda Baba Srivardhari Gopi Chanda Baba Srivardhari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Chanda Baba Srivardhari Yashoda Nandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, reading today from Srimad-bhagavatam, 9th Canto, 9th chapter, text 30. The chapter is called the Dynasty of Amsuman. So we'll chant the Sanskrit. So young Brahmarshi Varyaste Rajarshi Pravarad Vibho Katam Arhati Dharmagya Vadan Victor Ivat Majaha. So young Brahmarshi Varyaste Rajarshi Pravarad Vibho Katam Arhati Dharmagya Bharan Pitur Ivatmajaha. So young Brahmarshi Varyaste Rajarshi Pravarad Vibho Katam Arhati Dharmagya Bharan Pitur Ivatmajaha. Atmataha Young Brahmarshi Varyaste Rajarshi Pravarad Vibho Katam Arhati Dharmagya Bharan Pitur Ivatmajaha. Young Brahmarshi Varyaste Rajarshi Pravarad Vibho Katam Arhati Dharmagya Bharan Pitur Ivatmajaha. So young Brahmarshi Varyaste Hey Pravarad Vibho Katam Arhati Dharmagya Bharan Pitur Ivatmajaha. So young Brahmarshi Varyaste Rajarshi Pravarad Vibho Katam Arhati Dharmagya Bharan Pitur Ivatmajaha. So young Brahmarshi Varyaste Rajarshi Pravarad Vibho Katam Arhati Dharmagya Saha, he, the Brahmana, I am this, Brahma Rishi Varyaha, not only a Brahman, but the best of great sages, or brahmacharis. Not brahmachari, brahmarshis, sorry. Te, also from you. Raja Rishi Pravarat, who are the best of all saintly kings or Rajarshis. Vibho, O master of the state. Katam, how? Arhati, he deserves. Dharmagya, O you who are quite aware of religious principles. Vadam, killing. Pitu, from the father. Eva, like. Atmajaha, the son. So this is still the wife of the Brahmana. The Brahmana is about ready to be eaten by this Rakshasa, this king. So she's still trying to convince him. My Lord, you are completely aware of the religious principles, and a son never deserves to be killed by his father. Here is a Brahmana who should be protected by the king and never killed. How does he deserve to be killed by a Rajarshi like you? Srila Prabhupada's purport. The word Rajarshi refers to a king who behaves like a rishi or sage. Such a king is also called Naradev because he is considered a representative of the Supreme Lord. Because his duty is to rule the kingdom, to maintain Brahminical culture, he never desires to kill a Brahmana. Generally, a Brahmana, woman, child, old man, or cow is never regarded as punishable. Thus, the wife of the Brahmana requested the king to refrain from the sinful act. Omagyanatimirandasya Gyanachanashalakaya Chakshuru Militam Nina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So the story unfolds. So the wife of the Brahmana is trying to save him by negotiating, preaching, basically, with this Rakshasa. The Rakshasa had actually been the king, and and for some reason he got cursed. I don't remember, and he had to take on this particular form and this particular mentality of a Rakshasa.
То есть Ракшаса там был прошлый царь, который по недоразумению принял форму Ракшаса.
But the wife of the Brahmana somehow or other knew who this Rakshasa actually was. So she's speaking to him in terms of his previous activity as a king, a saintly king.
И жена, она так или иначе знала о том, кем ранее был этот Ракшаса, что он был король. Поэтому разговаривала с ним как с королем.
So of course a king, at least in Vedic times, the king had it was his duty to protect his praja.
Конечно, мы уже слышали много раз, что обязанность царя это защищать праджа, то есть своих подданных.
And praja means anyone who is born in or who is residing in your kingdom.
И праджа называется любое живое существо, которое либо родилось, либо проживает на территории, которую управляет царь.
So even the animals that are in the kingdom of a particular king, they also, if they're asking, they will be protected by the king.
И даже иногда животные, которые проживают на той или иной территории того или иного царя, то они просят защиты этого царя,
So Srila Prabhupada here is making a couple of points. One of the points is that the preaching of this Brahmana's wife she's pointing out that the protection that the king gives, he gives of everyone, but there are certain individuals that he gives a special protection to.
Она говорит о том, что защита Брахмана является особой защитой.
So Srila Prabhupada says generally a Brahmana, a woman, a child, an old man, or a cow are never regarded as punishable.
И здесь Прабхупада ссылается на Веды, где говорится о том, что не должен браман, женщина, ребенок, корова, она никогда не должна попадать под наказание.
And that they're not punishable also means that he's giving protection to them. He's especially concerned to give protection to those five.
И поэтому, чтобы они не были наказаны, им дается особая защита этим категориям.
So, why those five? A child, obviously you get protection because the child cannot defend themselves.
Почему же эти пять категорий защищают? Дети защищают, потому что они сами себя не могут защищать.
You give protection to the women because the women by nature are dependent on others.
Женщина защищает, потому что женщина по природе, она сама по себе находится под защитой других.
Gave protection to the old men, and of course the old women. That's already included first. Women means all women, including old women.
Пожилых людей защищать, что подразумевается не только мужчина, но и женщина.
So in Vedic, unlike modern society, in Vedic society, the elders were considered to be were considered very important in the society.
Противоположно современному обществу, ведическому обществе, старые люди, они пользовались такое очень важное.
Especially if the elders had been religious people.
И первоначально они просто люди, пожилые, старые, они были религиозные.
Because of the younger members of the family, the children, the younger members, of course, learn from the wisdom of the elders.
Молодые дети или более молодые члены семьи, они обучались мудрости у старших.
The advantage, at least in Vedic society, the advantage of being that system where you gave special respect to the elders was that the elders would have known and practiced religious principles for the better part of their lives.
То есть у них брали, они были под защитой, потому что у них обучались религиозным принципам, которые они практиковали на протяжении всей жизни.
And they were also, of course, because they were old, they also had many experiences, practical experiences in life.
И поскольку они были старые, то у них было очень много опыта, который они накопили в свою собственную жизнь.
So naturally, an elder person, especially if they're religious and of course having practical experience in the material world, they are in a position to advise those who are younger.
Поскольку они на протяжении всей жизни практиковали религиозные принципы, плюс они накопили опыт жизни, то они были более продвинуты в отношении более младших.
When you're old, when we become old, then we can think back about whatever when we become old, then we can think back of probably many things we've done and many mistakes that we've made in life.
Когда мы становимся уже старые, то мы очевидно думаем о том, какие ошибки мы совершили в жизни и какой мы опыт обрели.
But of course, it's said that failure is the pillar of success. Failure means if you make mistakes, but you learn from those mistakes, and then you build on that, and then you become successful.
То есть, если какие-то ошибки совершались, то на этих ошибках проходило обучение, и в результате они приходили к успеху.
So, if one is if the elders are religious and had so much experience in life, and the younger members of the family are respecting the elders, then those elders can also give so much practical advice to the younger members, so they don't have to make the same mistakes that the elders may have made.
И поскольку младшие члены семьи, они выражали уважение вот этим вот старшим, то старшие передавали им свой опыт, и таким образом младшие, они могли совершать меньше ошибок.
Like in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is making many arguments why I don't want to fight. Many arguments.
А другого Бхагавадгита выдвинул множество различных аргументов, почему он не должен пострадать.
And one of those arguments was, if we kill so many elders, at least the elder men, we kill these so many of them, then who will guide the younger members of the family in the religious principles?
И один из аргументов был таков, что если мы сейчас в этой войне убьем много старших, то таким образом тогда старшие, кто тогда точнее будет учить вот этих младших, которые останутся сами.
And then of course, if the elders are not ensuring that the younger members of the family are practicing religious principles, then they probably won't be practicing religious principles. No? If the parents and grandparents don't say, "My dear son, my dear daughter, you must follow these religious principles," if they're not telling like that, then the tendency will be to not follow the religious principles.
То есть старшие члены семьи, они обучали младших и говорили, что вы должны следовать каким-то религиозным принципам. Потому что если вы не будете следовать, то ваша жизнь будет более тяжелая.
Just like sometimes people will come here, younger people, and they come to see the deities, but they're also coming because taking pictures, show, look, I'm here, I'm at the temple. See, I'm doing. Somebody's giving advice. You go to the temple. I want you to prove that you're actually going to the temple. This is good for you.
Иногда кто-то к нам иногда приходит в храм, понятное дело, что посмотреть на полчаса там божественный, плюс он берет, фотографирует себя, что вот я в храме, и отсылает фотографии, и ему кто-то явно сказал, что пойди в храм, то ты так получишь благо.
So anyway, we're talking about the protective duties of the king, so that these are some reasons why they would protect the elder members of the family, of the society.
И обязанность царя защищать других своих подданных, это так же самое, почему старшие члены заботятся о младших.
And then they actually protected all animals, but especially the cows. These cows and bulls.
И особая также защита должна предоставляться коровам, и под коровами также подразумевается коровы и
And of course, this was exemplified in when Maharaj Parikshit was touring his kingdom and found the personality of Kali harming a cow and a bull.
И пример такой, когда Махараджа Парикшит путешествовал по своему царству, и он встретил этого Кали, который приносил вред, причинял вред своей корове.
Of course, these are no ordinary cow and bull.
И, конечно, то была необычная корова.
The bull was actually a religion personified.
Корова, она представляла персонифицированную религию.
And the cow was actually the earth personified.
Бык представлял персонифицированную религию, корова персонифицированную землю.
But in any case, because he was causing this problem for the cow and the bull, that Maharaj Parikshit was ready to kill this person, this personality of Kali.
И поскольку Кали персонифицированный Кали, он причинил вред корову и быку, то просьба была царя в том, чтобы убить его.
So in Vedic society, the cows and the bulls were very much, well, practically speaking, worshipped.
Ведическая цивилизация, коровы, быки, они являются объектами поклонения.
Srila Prabhupada writes that the Srimad-bhagavatam writes, Srila Prabhupada is giving it to us, that where the cow produces milk, and milk is referred to as religion in liquid form.
Бхагаватам говорит нам, и Шрила, конечно, нам повторяет, что у коровы она дает молоко, а молоко является жидкой формой религии.
And milk is considered, it's called religion in liquid form for a couple of reasons. One is that milk, by drinking it, Srila Prabhupada writes, one develops their finer brain tissues, which is necessary for understanding spiritual topics.
Одна из причин, точнее, корова любит молоко, и молоко является тем продуктом, которое благотворно воздействует на тонкие ткани головного мозга, и это дает нам возможность понять духовные темы.
And the other reason that is considered, milk is considered considered to be religion or religious principles in liquid form, is because from milk comes cream, from cream comes butter, from butter comes ghee, and that ghee is being used, say, for performing sacrifices, fire sacrifices.
И вторая причина, почему молоко считается жидкой формой религии, потому что из молока мы постепенно получаем через процедуры различные, получаем ghee, а ghee используется для совершения жертвоприношений.
So the saintly kings in Vedic society, they were very protective of all five of these personalities, including the cow. And because of that, the planet, the Earth was basically it was actually a very nice place.
И вследствие того, что происходила вот такая форма управления, то Земля сама по себе являлась очень прекрасным местом.
There was no lack, there was no shortage of anything.
Не было недостатка ничего, и всего было вдоволь.
Even the simplest person had everything they needed.
Даже самый простой человек имел абсолютно все, что ему нужно было.
Vedic society, the Shudras, who were the biggest part of the society, consciousness was low, Shudra, so they were not given money. They did not work for it to earn money. They did not work to, like here in modern times, you work, you get a salary, you're paid for your work. And the Shudras were not paid. They were not being paid. They were not given salary.
They work without salary?
Yes.
То есть в ведическом обществе шудры, они работали и никогда не платили деньги.
But everything they needed, food, clothing, shelter, whatever they needed was given to them sufficiently. But they were not given money because their tendency would be to misuse that money for things that were not good for them.
Идея была в том, что им не давали деньги, потому что они могли эти деньги использовать неправильном использовании для самих себя.
And the system was so nice, the Varnashram system was so nice that the Shudras would assist in many different ways the upper classes, the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas.
И система религийская была так хороша, что шудры они использовались в помощи трем другим классам.
The Vaishyas were protecting cows. They weren't raising cows for slaughter. They're protecting the cows.
Вайши они защищали коров, они не отправляли коров на бой.
And because they were protecting the cows, then the whole world was actually good, very, very nice. You know, except for that we still have birth, death, disease, and old age. But basically, it was much nicer than present time.
И поскольку они защищали коров, Вайши, то на всей земле было все очень хорошо, поскольку коровы были под защитой. Конечно, там также были различные старости, болезни и смерть, но эти формы были совершенно в другом проходили формате, нежели сейчас современный мир.
The Kshatriyas, of course, would protect society, at least up until Kali Yuga, these things started changing. And even the kings, who were, as we're reading in this verse, were Rajarshis. They had their, you call it, advisors. They had their advisors, Brahminical advisors, who would make sure that they were ruling their kingdom properly according to religious principles.
Цари, которые управляли обществом, они получали совет от браманов, а браманы давали царям рекомендации, как правильно управлять обществом в соответствии с Писанием.
And in Vedic times, the leaders and the advisors to the leaders were very qualified. But of course, as Kali Yuga went on, the leaders and the advisors to the leaders became very materialistic and would give bad advice.
Кали Югу все поменялось, и лидеры общества, и те, кто были советы лидеров общества, они все действуют очень плохо.
Just like when Krishna was present, Kamsa, he at one point he was thinking, okay, I'm only in danger of the 8th child of the Devaki. So you think, okay, I wasn't worried. But he had some bad advisors who would advise him, oh, you better deal with this, and they started killing all of them, all of Devaki's children.
Когда Камса, он отдал приказ убивать всех детей, которые родятся в служебной девочке, чтобы убить Кришну. Так же самое, но ему там посоветовали, что типа не должен быть, но все равно делал.
So, and of course, in modern times, we see the state of the condition of the world. You have leaders. Those leaders also have advisors, and those advisors, if they're not religious, they will give very bad advice to the person at the top.
Конечно, в нашем сейчас обществе у лидеров, у них каждый качествует своих советников, президента, Но поскольку они не являются религиозными, то, соответственно, те советы, которые они дают, они ведут к общему страданию людей.
But actually, Srila Prabhupada wanted that we, who are following the path of Lord Chaitanya, he wanted us to become qualified to be able to give good advice to people in general.
Когда Шрила Прабхупада, он сам был последователем Господа Чайтаньи, и он давал очень хорошие советы для всего.
Of course, not everyone is qualified to talk to just anyone in society. It's not that anyone can anyone who joins the Hare Krishna movement can go to the President of the United States and get his attention to advise him about how to manage the country. But if someone is Krishna conscious enough and wants, and there may be opportunities in the future to someone in that position to give advice to people in high positions.
Конечно, у нас сейчас, когда приличилось становиться преданным, то он, конечно, не идет президент Соединенных Штатов и не дает ему советов, как тому правильно управлять страной. Но, возможно, в будущем придет такое время, что мы будем проповедовать лидерам общества, тем, кто занимается религиозной.
Same way, Srila Prabhupada would preach very heavily against the materialistic scientists, not just scientists, but materialistic scientists.
Шрила Прабхупада проповедовал очень сильно от материальных ученых.
And their main problem was that the materialistic science proves, or they try to prove anyway, that there's no God, and everything can be understood in terms of material actions, reactions. So they try to prove that there's no God.
Материалистичные ученые, они так или иначе пытаются доказывать отсутствие Бога и приводят разные опыты, чтобы доказать свою
So Srila Prabhupada, some devotees joined Srila Prabhupada who were scientists. So Srila Prabhupada, he knew exactly how to engage everyone. So those devotees he engaged by he established the Srila Bhaktivedanta Institute. Bhaktivedanta Institute is science, is our devotee scientists. And Srila Prabhupada instructed them that you preach to this materialistic scientists. You prove using your scientific terms and scientific knowledge of material science. You approach them and convince them that there must be a spirit soul.
Он говорил, что они должны убеждать материалистичных ученых и доказывать им, что они являются духовной историей.
And prove to them that it is completely impractical for everything the way we see it in the world today, with all how the universe is organized and how life develops. All this is it's impossible to for all that to happen without some intelligent person, God, directing it.
И также они должны проповедовать материалистичным ученым в том, что весь мир, в котором мы живем, все, что мы видим, все, что происходит и развивается, то все эти устройства, они невозможны без управления высшим управляющим Богом.
Of course, Srila Prabhupada was, he knew that the people in general have a lot of faith and respect for the scientists.
И Шрила Прабхупада знал, что в основном люди в обществе, у них есть определенное такое уважение, доверие к ученым.
So Srila Prabhupada wanted that there's at least some scientists, he actually said most of them will, no matter what you tell them, no matter what scientific proof you give them, they will not accept. But one or two may accept the Krishna conscious philosophy.
И Шрила Прабхупада знал, что то, что говорят ученые, то они, может быть, не всегда люди принимают, но, по крайней мере, один или два они способны понять.
And in that way, if a few change, then the people in general who at least have respect for those scientists that believe in God, that'll help the whole society to change their consciousness.
И если люди примут тех ученых, которые верят в Бога, и начнут слушать их, то тогда это количество людей, оно изменит все общество.
Anyway, these are a couple of points. Are there questions, comments?
Какие-то вопросы, комментарии, пару моментов.
To happen all these things, I mean, in a society like Krishna consciousness movement.
Yes.
То, что происходит в обществе, сознание Кришны.
Unless until again an ashram is established, it seems impossible for all these things to, because
Which all things?
I mean,
We talked about many things today.
whatever was spoken, because as far as now, if you see the present, the way the world is going, it's like the protection of women, protection of child, protection of cows, protection of old people, protection of temples, protection of babies, and this is under big question. And specifically the Islamic Wahhabis being all around, because of course Krishna is the controller, but we have seen in our present society also. Previously, assumed previously the places are basically how they are created philosophies from the devotees, like anything.
Yeah.
And we saw in Bangladesh how there are so much problems with the ISKCON devotees. And it can happen in many places. UK is becoming more and more problem. France, Sweden, Norway, Germany. So the thing is that we need Brahmanas. As Prabhupada said, we need Brahmanas. There are more and more Shudra kind of people who can do all the services. But we also need Kshatriyas who can protect temples, properties, devotees. It's a big question because not only that, it's a very big thing because as far as civilization is concerned, for each family at least, for every 9 people at least one, there is a ratio. People make ratio in such a way that how much civilization will go on. Otherwise, some other way it will collapse its own way.
That's right.
So the thing is that apart from distributing roads, establishing temples, building boundaries and all these things, we need to build an ashram, communities, so that people, because generally they attack these cities,
Yes.
they don't come mostly to the places where they are remotely situated, where we have our own communities, we have our own food, we have our own food produce, we have our own crops. So attacking there is very remote. So if we develop that, which Prabhupada wanted, because in that way we can reach to so many people, because everybody wants to eat. So what do you think? Because all these things, whatever we are
Sure,
doing-
Prabhupada, you already answered it. That's why Srila Prabhupada wanted farm communities. That's what he's referring to. Yes, he wanted the farm communities. We're in the city for people who are here, so we're preaching, but there will be others who will develop the Krishna conscious farm communities, and some will do something much bigger.
Actually, it is good for it. It is good for it. No, I can answer that. The thing is that main thing is here is protection. The whole purpose is protection of the cow, protection of the women. So, but sannyasis and brahmacharis cannot protect women, cannot protect the children. No, sannyasis cannot, they can advise. Only grihasthas can only protect the women. This the women protection is not sannyasi's job. It's not brahmachari's job. Women protection is for grihasthas. Yeah.
Microphone.
Yeah. It's children protection.
The Prophet also said that the world leaders were real scientists.
Is it what?
Real scientists.
Real scientists.
Yes.
Yeah.
But science is not a problem. The application is important.
Mm.
So science is very helpful. Like with all this what we are using is science.
Yes.
So there's a problem it helps a lot. We hope that we are not using properly. And we are not understanding what is science. Like personally, I started in medical school. And what I know about the body, so all medical stuff, use this and slowly helping to understand what the body is.
Mm.
And the soul and the spirit. So when the doctor is right now, it's very well group of devotees that we are working to explain
Yes. Yes.
we are more strongly become strong for spiritual life and strengthening of the so we have to
Yeah. So I talk about material scientists. The problem with material science, problem with material science is not that they develop cameras and microphones and those kind of things, or medicine, and so many things. That's not the problem. The problem is the true problem is fighting against them on is that they leave God out of it. That's right. The whole world came about by some explosion and everything just on its own without any control, without any intelligent person, without any God. Everything just kind of happened. Or life just developed from some combination of some chemicals. And by thinking that, by studying that, by teaching that then one of the things, what is the purpose of life? So that is the problem. The material scientists, leaving God out.
Not a problem because the conception misuse of God. Science is not a problem. The misuse of science is something that people get lost in the problem. They have no education.
Spiritual education. That's the point. That's exactly the point. And then of course they have none. Yeah, yeah. They don't have that, and of course they teach it. They teach what they teach what they know, which is mm. Yes. Yukta Vairagya. That is the point. Many things are developed that we can use in Krishna service, but and the only problem that I'm talking about is the tendency towards also teaching or making people think that there must be no God. They pretty much, in general, it's like that. That is the problem. I mean, that's what Srila Prabhupada complained about. Hmm. Well, yeah, but okay.
No, but the purpose is saying that protection of all the classes is apart from such a should be protection. Yes, the thing is, if you see many countries nowadays, yes, Islam has taken over. Yeah, you won't agree, but you have to agree. Because they have the certificate. These 4 classes have that task to be done. For that, varnashram is required. You may have your grades, you may have, you are under somebody's rule, you agree with what they are saying. This is how people come here, Sanatan done what somebody does. Kshatriyas are required. And Prabhupada said 50% of his class will be varnashram farm community. Because you see, in the cities, your duties are struggling. They are struggling just because 16 rounds.
Like if you see the whole UK now, all cities, mayors are all Muslims. all Pakistani, Bangladeshi Muslims, they have come,
Hmm.
and their sons, they have become the mayors. And they are establishing mosques everywhere. And tomorrow, if you want to do Mangalati in London, in Soho Street, you need to get permission from the mayor. What do you do? So the thing is, London was not previously like that.
Hmm.
Because of lack of Kshatriyas, which they had, so-called British Empire, and everything because of the leftists, so many things, because of the leftists, they wanted these immigrants to come, the English Channel, through France, through all these parts. And what will happen? Obviously, they don't take over Europe. And they want to do that. They want to enter into schools, they want to enter into colleges, they want to enter into parliaments, they want to enter into every European corner. Prabhupada wanted us to enter into all these things and take over. Actually, if you read Prabhupada wanted to take over all these things. Prabhupada wanted to take over schools, take over science, take over everything. He wanted to have a own, even currency notes and all. But the point is that we are everybody struggling to just to have basic things as to giving people what I can say. They're not able to give even protections for normal women. Prabhupada also said, in New York, when they were having 22nd anniversary, one woman was so much, one Mataji, during Prabhupada's time, she was harassed by the black people who were there in the near the Decker Street, near 22nd. Prabhupada was telling in Manua. So we need Kshatriyas, we need Brahmanas, we need all these things. But unless and until Kshatriyas are there, the properties, deities, all these things, physical protection, how will you do?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Nowadays in India, what they are doing, people from Bangladesh will come. In India, we can get this, like we have the social security bill. Then we have this Aadhaar. So they get this Aadhaar card, become Hindus, vote you for 2-3 years, then mass conversion happens, they again come to Islam, and that way they populate. Means the thing is, they are doing it every way, like Kshatriya, by the Kshatriya principle, getting the woman married to Islam. So the point is, we just speaking will not help. You have to do this act of, what is mentioned as
we are trying to sharpen our arguments. They are trying to sharpen every field.
The action they are not happening. In India, Kashmir is already Islamic. Kerala is already Islamic. Bengal is already Islamic. 3. So once they cross over 50%, you won't be able to resist, for long. So the point is, because they know that, okay, one who doesn't follow Allah, he is a kafir, and you should not be believing. Now, so we are not saying. So the point is, if we don't defend, if we don't attack, help ourselves, we will not be able to do the basic program also. Like what happened with the devotees in Russia, want to take people and in jail and have blood water, filthy. So like that same can happen.
You can.
And that is the reason Prabhupada said 50% of my class is Varnashram community. That's slowly. Now, we don't have Kshatriyas introduced yet. There are some communities that are coming up, but then slowly we have to introduce this. Good. Kshatriyas we can't make, they have to come.
Even in normal culture, if you see, just don't take Krishna consciousness, just leave it. If you just go outside, even general public, you take any family, how many children they have? They have more dogs than their children. What will happen for their society? Each and every, for example, men and women are there, they have one kid or no kid. And Islamic people, they multiply like anything. So, in what way you will protect your own, even without Krishna consciousness, you can't protect it. Just like even if you think that atheist, there is no Krishna, there is nothing, Vedic culture is not there, still, even with your own policies, like Christianity is getting degraded, like it's getting slowly. So, during Prabhupada said, we purchase, this is such a Baptist church. I mean, Krishna always took over Baptist church, that means they are depleted. In India, it is increasing. Why? Because they fed up of so-called Hindus and they are getting converted because of money, because of so many things. So, ISKCON needs, we need Kshatriyas, we need Brahmanas, but we need Varnashram, so that these all things can be put in their own places. Because we need children, more and more population, we want good population. How good population? When women are protected, when women gives nice chastity and purity, then they can give birth to such population. And otherwise, people, they don't want children. Nowadays, they don't want children. You see, they don't want children. They're fed up of children. They want dogs. They think the dog is more like a baby for them. That's the this, we are under risk, and they even normal civilization also under risk. But Islam is not under risk. Somebody inquired from Imam of this one. He's a very famous. Western countries are not in crisis. Actually, Western countries are in crisis. The Gulf countries are not in crisis. There are so many things they can send to people from Morocco, from Egypt, from Sudan, from Nigeria, from Gulf, UAE, everywhere, from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. People are going everywhere. They are populating them. But we don't remember. ISKCON, if you take many people, they don't want children. Many Matajis, they don't want to get married. It's all a problem because of not establishing the Muslims. I'm sorry.
Anyway, Varnashram, yes.
There is one thing that in India, although it's a majority Hindu Dharma, what we call Sanatana Dharma, in the even language singular, it's being the ruler beings of Sanatana, from Sanatana background and Sanatana people, it's still one lady, one person from their own party, she spoke some truths against Islam. And old Islamic countries attacked,
From Islamic countries, all countries made up and
all countries supported that. Why is she speaking against this? And she had to apologize, and she was removed from the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is the Sanatana Dharma or whatever. And she was removed from the position, and she had to apologize. So that's the strength of Kshatriya, that's the strength that if you have Varnashram, there are Brahmanas and Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are there.
Recently in ISKCON London, one person comes and eats meat in the temple premises. I don't know whether you know. He comes and eats as a prank video. He makes eat. He comes before the Govinda's restaurant and eats chicken. I mean, he eats KFC chicken, and nobody could even slap him. Nobody could even drag him and slap him. Can you do just take pig's meat or pork and go to the mosque and eat?
You will not come alive.
They will cut him into pieces and throw to the wolves. And we are unable to do anything. We are so hunchback. This is the problem of devotees. We can't even slap him with what to do of cutting him. We'd rather we can keep them. We want to benefit him. That's okay. But first we have to slap him. First we have to give him.
If they did, next day
KFC. And they did. That would be okay.
Yes,
But the thing is, he's in front of you eating. He would come to the eating room and eat. What will you do? That's what happened in Mayapur. They came all the way, the mob came and they shot DBs. Makirava Maharaj's leg got this one. So this will happen anytime from here. We are somehow protected by messengers. Otherwise,
Yes. Okay, so we have to end here for today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Srimad-bhagavatam ki jai.